Hello, I'm Aaron Gemmel, and welcome to the season 6 premiere of the Hot Seat Sports Talk. So thrilled to be doing another season up here in Mount Pleasant, Central Michigan University. And today it's a great show. We got iHeart radio legend from Los Angeles County, Tim Conway Jr., whose father was a famous comedian and actor, and his father was on the Carol Burnett show long time ago. So without further ado, we'll take care of the announcements at the end of the show. But for now, let's get this show going. Let's get those credits rolling. So to start off, Mr. Conway, can you tell me where are you from, and how did you get your first start in radio?
All right. Well, I'm originally from Tarzana, California, and I got my start in radio where it's sort of an unusual way. We had an internet show called Late Net. It was the first video and audio internet show back in 1995, and nobody had the bandwidth to download it. So we had literally nobody watching. There was one guy named Larry Wax that kept trying to watch it every day, and he could download maybe 2 or 3 lines of the video and no audio. So we also realized that like People Magazine and Entertainment Weekly and all these big, publications had no way of testing or fact checking who was watching and who wasn't watching. So we said we had 400,000 viewers a night, and they just ran with that number. And so we got on People Magazine, we got on, Entertainment Weekly, Time Magazine, Us Magazine, all those magazines that are, mostly out of business now. But we were in all those magazines saying, hey, this is the new hip upcoming, form of entertainment. And then we looked around, we realized there's no cash register in the building, right? There's no way to bring money in. We said to Budweiser, we called Budweiser's their advertising, division, and we said, we're going to give you a free banner up over the show. It's going to say late night, brought to you by Budweiser, and we'll say, Budweiser throughout the show, but we won't charge you anything. And Budweiser said, if you do that, we'll sue you. Huh. And I'm like, oh, okay. All right. So nobody understands that there's any value here. I got to get the hell out of here. So what I did is I called all the program directors of the radio stations in town, and I invited them on as guests. And only one guy showed up, a guy named Jay Clark. He shows up. We have him on for an hour, and we talked to him, and we realized I have something in common with him. I love going sailing, and we used to race on Lake Erie and Rondo Bay in just a small little, it wasn't a real, big regatta or anything. It's like, 9 drunk people racing on a Sunday in larks, in these old wooden larks up off the Canadian shore of Lake Erie. And so he came on, we went sailing with him, got to know him, and he said, hey, do you want to fill in for Pharrell on the bench? In 1996, on Christmas Eve of 1996, he was going to take the night off. So I grabbed my buddy, Doug Steckler. We did 3 hours. Then we didn't hear anything for a couple months. Then he asked us to fill in again at night, then another fill in at night. Then somebody got fired. Then we got the very popular 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. slot on KLSX. And then as people got fired, we moved up, and we eventually got afternoon drive and then put back into evening, which I like anyway, because I think the evening crowd has a better sense of humor than the morning crowd. And to support that, there are very few comedy houses like Comedy Store or Laugh Factory that are open at 7 a.m.
Wow.
So that's the quick story.
Wow.
Even though it's been long.
Yeah, so that's quite of a start. Just building your way up. So what was your first radio love or did you want to follow in your dad's footsteps and being a comedian, an actor? Like, did you want to follow in your dad's footsteps, or was radio something that you wanted to branch out and try and do and make a name for yourself in that sense?
Well, I noticed that, whenever my dad went to do radio, he did Lowen and Barkley, Michael Jackson, not the singer, but the local talk show host here in Los Angeles. A very nice guy from, I think, from England. And he also did, I think it was Larry King. He did Larry King's show, radio show, a ton of times. And I was very excited to go with him to do radio because I was a big fan of Rick Dees growing up. And so whenever he would do a radio show, I'd go with him. And I just love how radio was live. And when you do a TV show, there's about 90 people involved, right? There's wardrobe, hair, lighting guy, sound guy, electrician, stage manager, writers, directors, producers, associate producers. There's 80 people involved and 80 people giving their opinion of what the show should be. In radio, it's just you. So, and once it's over, it's over. There's no editing, there's no sweetening, there's no, complaining that we should have put a pause here, whatever. It's over. It's great. It's one of the very last mediums in the world where it's your vision of what's going on. Plus, it's radio, so you can bullshit people a lot. You can tell people we have a room full of people, here, and just put a sound effect up, and nobody knows.
Right. That's the beauty of radio, and
unless you have somebody, like most people listen to radio alone, they drive in their car and they listen alone. It's one of those things you do by yourself. You don't listen to talk radio like with 5 or 6 friends. It very rarely happens. So when you're alone and you have nobody to bounce it off, you'll say, I'll say, geez, I can't believe we just had a meteorite, hit in Russia, right? And it's true. It was like 2 years ago where this big meteorite hit in Russia. And we got people calling us, saying, is that true? And when you have nobody in the car to bounce that off, saying, hey, do you think that guy's bullshitting me, or you think a meteor actually hit Russia? Then you just believe what you hear over the radio. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
So speaking of your dad, Tim Conway, again, I'm so sorry for your loss a couple
Thank you.
years
I
ago.
appreciate that.
He was a brilliant actor, a brilliant comedian, especially on the Carol Burnett show, which I grew up watching. I grew up watching that, Happy Days, Brady Bunch, all those different shows, which is kind of odd.
With 50?
Which is odd being a almost a 20-year-old, but those were shows that I grew up watching. My parents grew up watching, my grandparents grew up watching, so I was just built into that culture. So right. If you don't mind me asking, what were your favorite memories that you had with your father, like going on, movie sets, going on tour with them, being at home memories, like, take us like through your best memories with your dad.
Well, we used to love going to the racetrack together, my dad and I, and it was great because my dad wasn't a big, conversationalist, and neither was I, so I can pick him up. We could drive to the track, maybe talk, maybe not say anything, listen to the radio, sit there for 9 races at Santa Anita, not really say anything to each other than handicapping races, and then take them home, maybe chat on the way back, maybe not. But just being together was really cool. And to be at the racetrack was great because we both, really enjoyed the level of energy. I don't know if you've been to the racetrack before, but if you got $20 or even $2 on a horse that's coming around that final turn into the stretch, and your horse has a shot to win, man, you feel like you're alive. Come on with this 3. Come on with this 3. Come on with this 3. You feel like you're blood pumping again, and things are happening. And you rarely yell like that in your personal life. Like you wouldn't say, "Oh man, we're gonna have roast tonight. I can't believe it. Come on with this roast. Come on with this roast." It just doesn't happen in your personal life outside of the racetrack. So it's a great place to go and feel like you're alive again. And he loved it. He loved the racetrack. I love the holidays with him. My dad one year we had a hall, like a foyer, my mom used to call it. And it was like a spiral staircase. It was built by the director of Gone with the Wind. And it was sort of like the exact staircase.
Wow.
And it was a 25-foot or 20-foot ceiling. And so my dad went out and bought a 25-foot Christmas tree, right? I mean, it's huge effing tree, right? And we bring it in, put it up, and bending on the top because it's 5 feet, too tall. So he says to the local guy who we used as a tree trimmer, he goes, "Hey, take 5 feet off the bottom of this so we can bring it into the house." And something got lost in translation where we came back from church and the guy had knocked 5 feet off the top of the tree. So we just had this square tree and nothing on top. So my dad took the top of it and put it on the roof. And if you look from the outside, it looks like the tree actually goes up through the roof onto the ceiling up to the roof. So that kind of shit that, that was always very entertaining.
Wow. Yeah, just here, I can't even imagine having a 15-foot tree in my home, let alone.
Yeah, I know. Look, we have marks on our ceiling. I don't know if you can see them here. But we have marks on our ceiling because I bought a tree that was too big and the top of it had scratched the ceiling. Now I got to pay for that.
Yeah, because I'm in my dormitory right now, and my roof is probably about 10 feet tall. So that tree would probably go through my ceiling and through the person living above me.
Right.
And probably into the fourth floor as well. So,
by the way, I went to Bowling Green State University, and we had the same bricks and the same, in our dormitory. That same, like 12 by 6 brick. And I'm glad to see they're still using that shit.
Yeah, Bowling Green in Central Michigan's conference. So it's kind of
it's a back, right?
Yeah, Mid-American. Yeah, it's one of our rivals.
They weren't very good when I was there.
Yeah. Well, no offense, they're not that good right now either.
You guys have a good hockey team this year?
We do not have a hockey team. We have a club hockey team.
Wait, but Central doesn't have a hockey team?
We do not.
I thought they did.
No, we do not. I think we used to
Right.
a long time ago, but football, basketball, volleyball, those are our main attractions here. Football, they're just finishing renovations on our stadium right now. They built a $10 million extension called the Champion Center. Business, meeting rooms, exclusive seating, locker rooms, all that type of stuff. Brand new to the college football world, so I can't wait for that to open if we can ever get back to it. So now,
the one thing I know about Michigan, Central Michigan, is the biggest athlete to ever come out of there is Antonio Brown.
Yes, he's one of the biggest names to come out of this school.
Right.
I don't know if you know, J.J. Watt was also here for.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He was here for a year. He played with Antonio Brown before he left and went to Wisconsin.
Wow.
Other athletes like Dan Lefevre, he was a longtime quarterback in the NFL. Fantastic quarterback for Central Michigan. Just got inducted into the 2020 Ring of Fame here at Central Michigan. So, we've had some great athletes come in, like Joe Staley. He used to play for the 49ers. He retired this year. He was an offensive lineman. Eric Fisher, number one pick in the draft a few years ago for Kansas City. He just won a Super Bowl. So those are our biggest guys around here. Those are the big.
By the way, how did you hear of the show that we do? The show with the radio show we do in Burbank.
I'm a listener to iHeart Radio. I go around. I have the app, and I'm always looking for something that is, because sports are high and dry right now. So I'm looking for something that's pretty entertaining. That's entertaining. That can make me laugh. That has good topics. And I found your show, which is, when it comes on at your time at 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock us, it's a little bit late, but I listen to it, as I finish up studying, as I, as I'm getting ready to end my day. So it's I love the catchphrases. I love this the segments that you guys do. Ding dong's probably one of my favorite catchphrases.
That's great. Ding dong with you.
So that's how I've gotten to know the show. So being in Los Angeles, trying to get your own show specifically, was it difficult at the time? Because you've been on the air for quite a long time, having your own show. Was it difficult getting your show at the time in LA? Because LA is, the big as as you can get next to New York.
Well, was it difficult getting the job? You said?
Yeah, was it difficult getting your own show, getting like your own headlining show?
Well, it's always a matter of, dumb luck. I remember, I had a show on the FM talk station on KLSX, and they changed formats, and they went to music, and I didn't know anything about music, so I got fired in February of 2009. And so in June of 2009, there was no prospects. So I moved to Oregon. I moved my whole family to Oregon. Dogs, kids, cats, wife, insurance, registration, the whole thing. When you move, the address changes. You got to change your credit cards. You have to change your entire life. Move everything up to Oregon. And then 6 months later, I got a job in LA on KFI, and I moved everybody back. So in the span of 6 months, we moved to another state, and then we moved home, and we moved everything, right? Everything moved.
Yeah.
All our furniture, everything. And at that point, my wife said, that's it, we'll be here for a while. But so it wasn't, it's all, a matter of luck. I mean, it's what shows, what time slots become available and where you are in life and, who you've impressed and what people have heard. But I remember calling my dad, and I said, my dad was a big talk radio fan. I said, Dad, I got a job back in LA. He goes, oh, T, that's great, fantastic. What station are you working on? I said, on KFI. He goes, oh, that's great. What time slot? And I said, 7 to 10 p.m. And he said, 7 to 10 p.m. on KFI. He says, that's Brian Suits. I said, yeah, I'm replacing Brian Suits. He's going to Washington to do mornings. He goes, oh, I like that show, that Brian Suits. He says, where is he going to be in Washington? I said, he's doing a morning show up there on a station in Washington. He said, well, what station is he going to be on? I said, I don't know, I'll find out for you. He said, can I pick it up on my computer and listen to him up there? And I said, yeah, I think so. I think they're on, on iHeart. I think it's going to be an iHeart station. He says, what's his format going to be up there? I'm like, I think I called you to tell you I was getting a job, and now it's turned into this, where's Brian Suits going? But it's just, Neil Saavedra, I'll always thank Neil Saavedra, who is the assistant program director at KFI, because Bill Handel, who has a big say at KFI, he does the morning at KFI, he wanted Doug McIntyre to do this time slot. And I wanted to do this time slot. And Neil Saavedra is the guy that fought for me to do this time slot. If it wasn't for Neil Saavedra, I wouldn't be on KFI. So I always thank Neil Saavedra and Robin Bertolucci. Those are the two people that fought Bill Handel and asked me to come on to do this. And I will always thank both of them for doing it.
That's awesome to hear. That's fantastic.
By the way, Neil Saavedra is the guy on weekends on this station. He does the Fork Report, and he also does produces the Jesus Christ show.
All right. So just like on your show, you guys have segments and stuff like that you guys do probably every night or every day or every couple of days. But this is a segment that I've done with every guest that I've had on my show. It's called Rapid Fire 7, just 7 questions just to get to know you better and for the viewers as well.
Sure.
So what your favorite thing about living in California?
Nothing. Yeah, the racetrack. That's it.
Is being in Michigan, just the weather itself would just be a deal closer. Yeah,
but now with the internet and all the things you can do online, being at home in the winter is not that crazy anymore. It used to be before when maybe for your parents, your grandparents, being snowed in and having to go out and get groceries and nobody delivered anything and you couldn't, you'd only have 3 stations to watch on TV. You got bored. But now with the internet and people delivering shit to you all the time, Amazon and food and, Uber Eats and all that crap, you literally don't have to go anywhere.
No, you don't. So, favorite character that your father played either in TV or film?
It's probably the old man, the old man character, which I think he copied one of my grandfather's friends who used to do that shuffle walk, that old man walk. And that was
my grandfather.
Was his favorite.
Yeah, that's how he walked for a long time. So, what is your favorite vacation spot?
Vacation spot. I don't really vacation a lot. We always go up to Oregon for our time off where my wife's from. So I'd have to say Oregon, probably the Columbia River outside of Portland, Oregon, and the state of Washington. Lake Mayfield, to be exact, would probably be the best place.
Okay. Favorite topic to talk about on the air for during doing your show? Just favorite topic, anything in the world to talk about.
I think talking about huge a-holes, and there's never a shortage of them.
No.
People that have stepped off the curb. And I think the favorite thing we do, or the favorite thing I like to do, and which everyone gets really excited about it, is if we have a live police chase on TV. And the cops are running around chasing some idiot. And it's always fun to see the desperateness, the desperat in the guy, and see how, and what eventually, look, it's one of the few things you really have to watch live. You have to watch sports live, because if you're delayed, you watch it later, somebody can kill it for you with the score.
Yeah.
So you have to watch sports live if you enjoy the game or the team, because you can get a text that can kill that game for you. So that's one thing. And the other thing you got to watch live are police chases. If you're not watching them live, it loses about 90% of the thrill. You watch a police chase a day later and you know how it ends. Nobody's watching live with you. You got to watch it live to know how this is going to happen. So one of the two last things in life you have to watch live are sports and police chases.
Yeah, sports, especially police chases. Yeah. Again, like
sports, especially if you probably know if you're a big sports fan and somebody has killed a game for you. What are your professional teams? Are you a Detroit guy?
Detroit, yeah. Pistons, Red Wings, Tigers, Lions,
Right.
Michigan State, football, Michigan State basketball, and Michigan basketball. Those are the biggest.
You were probably watching a game or two, in delay, and some asshole, laid a score on you and killed it for you.
Oh yeah, that's happened to me numerous times throughout my life, and I've done it to people, and they've had some comments for me too. So
yeah, I did it to a guy the other day. I just, it was the day after, right? And I said, "Oh man, I can't believe that, that I did this morning." I said, "I can't believe that Boston's eliminated." He goes, "Oh fuck you, guys haven't watched the game. Thanks, man." I said, "Well, dude, look, a day later, if you haven't watched the game, then fuck it, you're not that interested in the game."
Right. So, so what was your favorite go-to food during this whole quarantine phase?
It's a place out in Los Angeles and in LA. It's called Gus's Chicken. It's fried chicken strips that are the best in the world, perfectly seasoned, perfectly cooked. And I'm like an addict. I went there the other day, and I usually call before, and I order my chicken, and I go pick it up, right? So I go, and I say, I've got nothing to do. I'll just go there. So I go there at 11:45 in the morning. They open at 11 o'clock. And I pull the door, and the door doesn't open. And I pull it again, and it's not opening. And I'm like a homeless guy out there, like, what's going on? What's going on? Then I read the sign. They changed their hours from noon to 7. So they just weren't open yet. But I thought maybe they closed down for good, and I was flipping out.
Oh yeah, that's how I was freaking out about my hometown places around here, not being open. Like, oh, they just changed their hours. That's just how it is.
That's right. Yeah. Did you grow up around Central Michigan?
I did not. I'm originally out of about 30 minutes east of Detroit.
Whereabouts?
Sterling Heights, Warren, Fraser. That's where I'm at. So that's
my mom grew up in like River Rouge and also Dearborn.
Okay, yeah, that's about 30-ish minutes away.
My mom and my mom and my grandfather, her whole family had a funeral home in right outside of Dearborn. As a matter of fact, my grandfather embalmed Houdini and stole his gold watch, and I saw it like 30 years ago, and nobody has seen it since.
Wow.
Imagine what that's worth.
Yeah, especially now. What is your favorite segment that you have currently on your show that you like to do the most?
I like talking to Petros and Money. Whenever they're on, I get a big thrill out of it. They're sports guys over at KLAC 570 AM. But one of the great things we have on right now, we got a guy coming on with us every Monday and Thursday, a guy named Dr. Ray Kasheri. And he handles the COVID questions, makes sense out of it, and, just tells everybody to calm down. You're not going to die. Even if you get it, you have a 99.6% chance of surviving, which is pretty good. And so we sift through all the bullshit of, the political aspects of COVID and calms you down. So he's great.
Yeah. And that would be a fantastic thing for students up here at Central Michigan to listen to, because opinions are being mixed about how we're back doing classes in person and stuff like that. Our cases are going up here, but not as quick as when this thing first started out. We have 134 as of right now.
Do you know anybody who's had it?
I actually do. We have a specific dorm that is dedicated to house those students.
Really?
That are
fun house, fun place to live.
Yeah. And I saw on social media and stuff like they put out, that they're in that hall, and I reached out to them, make sure they're doing okay. And,
Right. But do you know anybody who's died from it?
I'm trying to think. I don't think so. I
don't either.
I've had people who have passed this past year due to other things,
Right.
such as dementia and stuff like that.
Yeah, it sucks.
But nothing with COVID, thank God. And I'm just praying to God this thing wise down pretty soon, because
Hey, Babu, what's that blue handle thing over your right shoulder?
That is my vacuum cleaner.
Is that a vacuum cleaner?
Yeah, just a
You
little
have your own vacuum cleaner?
I have my own dorm room right now, so this is like basically my own little studio right now.
What happened to the other guy, your roommate?
We have the option. You can either buy, you can live by yourself. You can have a roommate. My room, specifically, it can house either 1 or 2 people.
Oh shit! Okay, that's great.
And other dorms around campus have 3, 4. Like I'm not that far away from the frat row. It was just literally right down the street. So all the frat houses are there. The campus apartments are right down the street as well. Everything is within 5 minutes driving, about 20 minutes walking.
And what are you, a junior?
Sophomore, second year.
Excellent.
Sophomore, second year. Yep. And so last question out of this rapid fire 7, your favorite professional sports team?
Got to be the LA Kings. I've been following them, the LA Kings, since I was about 9 or 10 years old. My dad took me to a game down at the Great Western Forum, which, by the way, back then it was the Fabulous Forum, which was great because you could smoke cigarettes. You could watch the game, not when I was 9, but later on in life. And there was that weird sort of like, I don't remember, you're probably too young to remember this, but there was that weird sort of cloud that hung over like the 30th row. So if you're above row 30, you're above the smoke. And if you're below, row 30, you're under the smoke. But it was just it's a great sport. It's you need the most skill in the world to play that sport. It's very exciting. And the shittiest team can beat the greatest team, 9-1 on any given night. So you never really know what happens.
Yeah, especially when the Kings had their run about a few years ago when they won and stuff like that.
2012 and 2014, they won the Stanley Cup, man. Unbelievable.
Yeah, but here in Detroit, we got you guys pretty well in Stanley Cups and playoff runs.
Nothing lately, though, right, out of Red Wings?
Yeah, not in the past 4 or 5 seasons, no. But we had that 25-year stretch that we made the postseason. We won.
Are they gonna try to improve that team, or are they just gonna settle on shit?
Yzerman's doing all that he can right now. Yzerman's doing the best that he can. He obviously, he thinks that we got screwed in the draft lottery, that we should have had like the number 1 or 2 pick, but we ended up getting like 4 or 5. And somehow Pittsburgh got a higher pick than us in the draft, which is
it's the greatest sport in the world. It really is.
So I'm hoping the team could turn around. We have good prospects. It's just the team's not going to be like it was back in the 90s and the early 2000s when we had, Yzerman, the Grind Line, Bruce Brothers.
The
Russian Five. Just all those groups together is what made those teams fantastic here in Detroit.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's been a tough run. I mean, Detroit. My grandfather was a big, huge Detroit Red Wings fan, and he would have burn the fucking place down if he went 4 years of them not qualifying for the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, and the guys way back when, like Mickey Redmond, Gordie Howe, Ted
Oh yeah,
Lindsay. Oh yeah, the guys who made Detroit hockey what they build the team up, and
yeah.
and those guys are still talked about today.
When's the last time the Wings won a Stanley Cup? Was it
2008.
2008. Okay.
2008 over Pittsburgh. Yep.
All right. So it's been a 12-year run. That's fine.
Yep. That was the last time Detroit won a major championship out of the four sports.
Wow.
It's been a long
I go back. I mean, I go back to the last year or so at the barn. Where the Wings used to play.
Joe Louis.
And, yeah, it was
the old hockey barn. Yeah, that was a staple where I grew up. I grew up watching Wings games, basketball tournaments there because they used to have basketball tournaments there all the time.
It's a great sports state. I mean, Michigan with University of Michigan, Michigan State, the Red Wings, the Pistons for a long time there were terrific. But it's really Michigan's a really great college, experience. If you can go to any college in Michigan, you've made it,
Yeah, and it's the football and stuff around here. If we had a season right now, it's just pandemonium when it takes over a campus.
Have you been to Michigan and watched a Michigan Ohio State game?
I have not. I've been to Spartan Stadium to see Central play Michigan State once. I have not seen Michigan and Ohio State. I grew up as a Michigan State fan, not a Michigan.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So.
But man, to get 75 or 100,000 people in a stadium like that, that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, it's incredible. Even the capacity that we have up here in Mount Pleasant, when that stadium gets rocking, we are, beating a team really well. It's a great environment to be in before the game, during the game, after the game.
Yeah. Michigan State's a great school too. I went to see Michigan State play. I think they played. You guys play Michigan State? Did Central play Michigan State?
They played them they've played them in the past. Probably the last time they played them was about 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And we would play them every other year. Then they stopped, and then they announced a 3-year plan. Our next matchup with State is in 2023.
There's nothing like going in the early fall when the leaves are turning and it's cold. You need to bring a sweater. You got a beer or a hot chocolate, and sitting in that stadium watching that game where it's
there's no better feeling.
Sun's going down early. I mean, just the greatest experience. One of the great Midwestern experiences you could ever have.
It's absolutely fantastic, and I can't wait to experience more once this whole thing is done. So
it's great because the Michigan State game I went to, and I believe they played Central, but maybe it was Western. I don't know. But just to sit in that stadium, we have a sweater on. There's no clouds in the sky, yet it's cold. It's cool outside, and the sun's going down while the game is continuing. The fans are going crazy, and then everyone leaves and goes downtown and drinks and goes to fraternities. It's the greatest experience ever. And for people who missed out on that, didn't experience a big college game in Michigan, they've really missed out on something.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. It doesn't matter where you're at Michigan, either at Michigan, Western, Eastern, Central, right, Northern, all the way up in the
Marquette, all those places.
It doesn't matter. It's just just having those experiences you'll remember for a lifetime.
Absolutely. Look, I only did it once and I remember it,
Yeah. So going back to your radio career, you've had some famous guests. You've had on Jay Leno, Norm Macdonald, Kramer from Seinfeld, Brian Reagan, a famous comedian. Are those like your favorite guests that you've had on? Like, tell us your favorite moments that you've had with those guests over the years.
I don't really like big celebrity guests. We don't really pursue them a lot because they are too protective. They don't want to say anything funny or dangerous or off color because they worry about, social media beating them up. The best guests that we have on, guys that will come on and take a shot, like Petros Papadakis from the Petros and Money show. That guy will say anything. He doesn't give a shit. It's great. And Brian Suits is another guy. Of course, Matt Money Smith. I mean, those three guys that we have on, a guy that will come on and take chances of either getting fired or getting a lot of shit on social media. Those are the only interesting guys I have on. I'd much rather have him on than, I don't know, than some big actor, actress, pushing a show that nobody sees.
So I saw a video of you on the internet dealing blackjack with your radio staff, and read that you, like you said, you used to go to the racetrack with your dad. Do you have any good gambling stories, big wins, big losses? Just
the big score we ever made was we went to Santa Anita during the day, and I was with my dad, and we did 9 races at Santa Anita. We got our asses kicked. And so I went to drop him off, and I said, I'm going to Hollywood Park to watch the Trotters, the sulkies. And I said, you want me to bet anything for you at Hollywood Park? And he said, take this card. And back then you had a physical card, almost like a voting card. And you slip it through the machine, then it spits out a ticket. It also gives you the card back. And the cards, you write down the horses, you fill in the little circles, like you take the SAT, you fill in the circles of the horses you like, in that race. So this card that he had from Santa Anita, he said, here, put this in for $12 and see if it hits. He had no idea what the horses were, what races were, anything. Just, it was a blind, it was like buying a quick pick, right? Yep. So it hits on, and we do a pick 6. It hits on the first, it hits on the second, third, fourth, fifth, and we hit on the 6th, and I win the pick 6, $12,500.
Wow.
And from a ticket that cost $12 on a totally blind sort of quick pick ticket, $12,500. I bring it home. I throw the money out on the counter. My dad gives me half of it just for going down there, which is kind of cool. And it was one of the big scores we ever made.
I can't even imagine, I win a few $100s at the local casino right down the road, Soaring Eagle Indian Casino. Right. And I win a few hundred, and I get excited. I couldn't imagine myself letting alone over $12,000.
It was crazy. It was unbelievable. I mean, we had a security guard I had a security guard walk me to my car, to make sure I got there all right.
Yeah.
What's the local casino there?
Soaring Eagle Indian Casino Hotel.
Is that new?
It's been around for a very long. It's been along for a very long time. Been around for.
Right. Did they add something to it recently, like a hotel or another wing or something?
They added all kinds of things. They added a separate water park hotel, like a block from it.
Soaring Eagle. I gotta slide up there. Where is it? It's right outside of Central.
It's literally from my dorm. It's about a 10-minute drive.
Oh really? Oh, that's great. Are there a bunch of college kids there?
Yeah, because everyone's been lenient again with COVID and stuff like that up here, but typically it's always going. They have acts come in. They actually get some pretty big names. They get big bands, big comedians, stuff, big singers and stuff like that.
I see. Okay, yeah, I'm looking at a map right now. It's right off of Highway 20.
Yep, right off of Route 20. Yep.
Right. You take 127 to 20, and you're there.
Yep, that's it.
That's wild, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So Central Michigan, you jump off on Broomfield. Broomfield, yeah. Right up to the 20, and boom, you're there, man. That's great. That's very, very close. See, I would have been busted out if I lived, 3 miles from the casino.
Yeah, it
looks like a great place, though.
It's a fantastic college town.
Yeah.
People might not think of it as a great college town, but it is a fantastic college town to visit.
That's cool, though.
Final question for you. You've had a couple of popular segments. Like what the hell did Jesse Jackson say, and name the effing tune. I saw a few of them. Big fan of those. Like, can you tell me a little bit more about those segments and how those came to be?
Well, the Jesse Jackson thing was great. Jesse Jackson is a guy who speaks for a living, yet you can barely understand him. So we did a show where we'd take clips of Jesse and we'd play it on the air. And he knew we were doing it. He didn't give a shit, right? And we had called him one night, on his cell phone. We stole his cell phone number from a Fox Sports announcer, and we called him one night. And we said, "Hey, Jesse, we're on the air in Los Angeles." And he said, "All right." And we said, "We're playing a clip of something you say. Can we play it for you, and you tell us what you're saying?" And he said, "Okay." And I said, I played the clip, and the clip was, "I want to say an important thing," but it sounded more like, "I want to say an important thing," right? And he did it very fast. And so he said, "Jesse, what are you saying here?" And he says, "I have no idea." And so the kids loved it, though, because the kids' minds, aren't as cluttered as ours. So they pick it up almost every single time. They can nail it almost every time. But we enjoyed doing the game and playing the game. But then Jesse Jackson had some physical setbacks, and we thought, maybe it's time to cancel. So about 2-3 years ago, we stopped playing it. But it was great because it was essentially a guy who speaks for a living, and it's hard to understand what he said. It was awesome.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So now, are you like right? Because it's Tuesday at around 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Pacific. Will you be on the air? Will you be on the air tonight?
Yeah, 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. Yeah. 6 o'clock Pacific. 6 o'clock Pacific. 9 p.m. Eastern.
Right, on iHeart Media on KFI AM 640. How big a listenership do you have? What kind of numbers are you getting up there?
I'm getting about 400 a week.
That's good, dude.
Yeah, getting about 400 a week. It's been going really well. It just depends on on the week and who we have, and I have feeling this show's because it's going to be big. People are going to want to hear what you have to say, and
we'll promote it. What's the exact title of the show? Let me write it down.
It is called it's called the Hot Seat Sports Talk.
The Hot Seat Sports Talk?
Yep.
Okay. Out of Central Michigan, right?
Yep.
And you're Aaron.
Yes.
All right. Cool. What do you go by? Just Aaron, or Aaron? What do you use your last name?
Yeah, just Aaron, or Aaron Gemmel.
How do you spell that?
Geml.
All right, Aaron Gemmel. All right.
Yeah.
That's cool. Then where can people find it? What's the address?
You can either find us on Instagram. You can find us on Instagram or find us on YouTube. Our YouTube channel name is just our name, the Hot Seat Sports Talk. Just find us, like us, subscribe to us, share us.
Hot Seat Sports Talk. All right, now, and when will this be up so we can promote it?
This will be up because I have a lot of assignments to do.
Right.
This will be airing tomorrow. Once I get the editing stuff down, I'm not sure what time. I will email you what time it will go up. So,
okay.
But no, hey, I would, it's always been a dream of mine to be a guest on a radio show. So maybe I could call in maybe as a guest one time on your show. That'd be
cool. We'll do that and talk sports.
Yeah, that'd be excellent.
All right, we'll promote the hell out of this, though, and then maybe in the next couple weeks, once football season starts, and people, because I don't think people really care about what's going on with the NBA right now, and the National Hockey League. I think people waiting for college football and National Football League to come back.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's where you're going to see big numbers. So maybe we'll have you on to talk about the National Football League. You pick teams and shit like that?
Yeah. Pick teams. Mostly I do fantasy football is my biggest thing. Start them, sit them, picks of the week. Because I'm a big fantasy football guy. I'm in multiple leagues.
You do well in fantasy football?
In my one league that I've been the commissioner of, this is my 8th year doing it. I have been in. I've made the playoffs 6 out of 8 years, and I've won 2 Super Bowls, and I've been to 4 Super Bowls out of all of them. So
how many in the league?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
How big is the league? Or you're the one you're in charge of?
10 people. We've had some complications of people backing out and stuff due to COVID and stuff like that.
Oh shit.
We are originally 12-man league. So
Do you put money at the beginning, or is it just for fun, just for the trophy?
First year we went for money because I was 13 years old when I started. I'm almost 20 now.
Right.
So we started off for free, just 8 people just hanging out doing it. And then next year, like, okay, we got to up the stakes. So we added four teams. We added money, and the money's gone up ever since. So
what's the money now? What this year?
I think the entry fee is going to be either $30 or $40 a person.
And winner take all.
Winner does not take all. Winner takes 80%. Second place takes 20%.
Oh, that's good. Okay, that's pretty cool.
It keeps everybody involved. Keeps everyone engaged.
Right. All right, we'll do that. I promise you, we'll have you on to talk football.
Awesome. That's fantastic to hear.
All right, buddy. Keep studying, and good luck. And if you ever come to LA and you're looking for a radio job, maybe we can help you out.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Tim Conway Jr., 640 KFI, Los Angeles County, and iHeart Radio. And iHeart Radio, 6 to 10 p.m. Pacific time, 9 to 1 a.m. Eastern time. Check them out. Fantastic show. Ding dong. That is
Ding dong with you, buddy. All right, Aaron, man. Great job, buddy. Keep fighting. Keep doing it.
Thank you, Tim, and talk to you soon.
All right, take care. See you, bub.
Wow. First of all, going on iHeartRadio in LA, that'd be fantastic. But fantastic interview. Tim Conway Jr., ladies and gentlemen, 640 KFI if you're out on the West Coast, Los Angeles County, and he's on iHeartRadio. So if you don't have that, download the app and search the Tim Conway Jr. Show. Again, that is from 6 to 10 p.m. Pacific time, 9 to 1 a.m. Eastern time. And that is all for the season opener for season 6. Please make sure to like and subscribe to this channel, and keep a lookout for anything else we might be doing. And we will be back. We're not going to be going on a weekly basis, so until we meet again, as always, keep it fresh.